remember I've had to adjust.
Oh! Need to zoom us out, okay?
Oh.
That's better.
Okay. Well, I need to click a wee bit because
Yeah.
that should be okay.
Oh. Right, that's better.
Well, sort of. I'm kind of leaning over towards you now.
We're awfully white. Well, not.
If
We
I'm
don't look so white on here.
Yeah. Oh, dear. Oh, are you hearing us okay? 1, 2, 3.
Maybe better check again. For the sound. Well, I can tell on here, can't I?
Yes. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Yeah, that's fine. You can indeed hear us. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Something like a slow build up tonight. 3 minutes to go. Aha! There's Stephen. How we doing, fella? Right, so put Stephen in.
Send it to Mariana.
I did, yes. She said she hoped to make it.
Right.
So, I don't know, maybe she's not feeling good or something. Glad to hear it, Philip. Yeah, we're fine. I believe I can. That's one of the occasions where I'm allowed to speak for my wife, I think. I'll say we're fine. Yeah. Don't ever presume. She said. Oh, why we're getting.
Yes, it's doing that sticking.
Yeah. I see it. I see it. Hopefully it's not going to affect too much, but yeah, definitely. Look at it. Damn. Hearing us okay, as we have a bit of thingy going on. Oh, good evening to my bands. Thank you for joining.
And that's Jean with us.
Good evening, Jean. Thank you for joining us.
And good evening to Janet.
Yeah, good evening, Janet. Yeah, we hope you're all well. Have a bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? Lag. Not lag, I don't know what they call it. Bit of lag going on, so should it affect the speech, please let us know.
Right, Janet's saying she can hear us now.
Right.
I don't know whether that means that maybe couldn't before.
Well, it's possibly not just us then. But there's Mum's team asking if they're having internet issues. We're getting stuck as well, and that's Katrina saying they're on the phone due to tech problems. So, good evening, Peter McFarland. Anyone else having internet issues?
Yeah, I can see on my iPad that it's sticking.
Is it bad? So your tech problems, Katrina, was that internet or is it just an issue with your computer or something?
Mm.
Hi Rosalind, found it at last. Oh, it looks like it's bad. There's absolutely nothing running. Look, as it's bad. I've never got anything running.
I know, we know that there's a problem.
Hold on a sec. Let me try this. Clear the browsing. Although I shouldn't have to clear the browsing data because I cleaned everything up earlier. Right, done a wee quick clean there. Right, so
Okay, so I think it's this end.
it seems that the problem is at our end. Yeah, that's sticking. So hopefully it doesn't cause. Well, the link must have worked if you're here, Mariana. Oh, no, not necessarily, mate. I went and got it on the thing page. According to this, we're just freezing all the time. I've done. I've done all. No. Yes, this is 30th of April, Mariana. So I think.
We'll just start.
Yeah, given the fact, given that we're having some issues, I think we'll just get straight into it, and hopefully, whatever's going on will resolve. So, our quiz tonight. What's going on? First round, as always, 50 questions, 5 rounds. Our first round is on this day, so events pertaining to this day, the 30th of the 4th, any given year. Our normal connection round, picture round, then the chain, and finishing off with general knowledge. So, good luck everyone, and here we go. So, round 1 on this day. Question 1.
The actor who plays Jamie Fraser in Outlander was born this day in 1980. What's his name?
So that's question 1. The actor who plays Jamie Fraser in Outlander was born this day in 1980. What's his name? Question 2.
Who committed suicide on this day in 1945?
So that's question 2. Who committed suicide on this day in 1945? Question 3.
The Eurovision Song Contest was won on this day in 1988 by which Canadian singer?
So that's question 3. The Eurovision Song Contest was won on this day in 1988 by which Canadian singer?
What about if you don't have the camera feed going in so that there's no picture of us and it's just the questions and you can hear us? Because it doesn't seem to be, like it's not even going to be so obvious, is it?
Question 4.
Which US president was inaugurated on this day in 1789?
So that's question 4. Which US president was inaugurated on this day in 1789?
Stephen and Annie and George and
Rachel and
Yes.
family. And thank you for joining. We're at question 4 and the first round, so you might be able to just scroll back a bit and catch up. Yeah. Question 5.
Which Dickens book, published as a weekly serial on this day, 1859, begins with the line, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times"?
So that's question 5. Which Dickens book, published as a weekly serial on this day in 1859, begins with the line, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times"? I'll try that now if I get that off now. Because you're right, it could make a difference. Question 6.
Known for his whistle, which train engineer became legendary after his death in a train collision in Mississippi on this day, 1900?
So that's question 6. Known for his whistle, which train engineer became legendary after his death in a train collision in Mississippi on this day in 1900? Question 7.
On this day in 1989, Tim Berners-Lee launched what?
Question 7. On this day in 1989, Tim Berners-Lee launched what? Question 8.
Who set a world record on this day, 2008, by holding his breath underwater for 17 minutes and 4.4 seconds?
That's question 8. Who set a world record on this day 2008 by holding his breath underwater for 17 minutes 4.4 seconds? Maybe not as bad. Question 9.
Who, on this day in 2018, was made UK Home Secretary by Theresa May?
That's question 9. Who on this day in 2018 was made UK Home Secretary by Theresa May? Finally for this round, question 10. The world's oldest known spider was killed by a wasp sting on this day in 2018. How old was it? A. 43 days, B. 43 weeks, or C. 43 years? Moving on to round 2 now, as always, connection round. First 9 answers are all connected in some way or another. Question 10 is, what's the connection? Good luck. Question 1.
Marcona, cola and pili are types of what high protein food?
So that's question 1. Marcona, cola and pili are types of what high protein food? Question 2.
What word can come before master and strong and after hammer?
So that's question 2. What word can come before master and strong and after hammer?
And that
Question 3.
What term is given to the heart, liver and lungs of an animal used for human food?
So that's question 3. What term is given to the heart, liver and lungs of an animal used for human food? Question 4.
According to their hit song, where were the Red Hot Chili Peppers under?
So that's question 4. According to their hit song, where were the Red Hot Chili Peppers under? Question 5.
What do you call the white target ball used in bowling?
So question 5. What do you call the white target ball used in bowling? Excuse me. Question 6.
What item can be found on a horse, bicycle and motorbike?
So that's question 6. What item can be found on a horse, bicycle and motorbike? Question 7.
Male voices are divided into 4 groups: countertenor, tenor, baritone and what?
So that's question 7. Male voices are divided into 4 groups: countertenor, tenor, baritone and what? Question 8.
What nationality is Formula One driver Carlos, how do you pronounce that? Sainz, Carlos Sainz.
So that's question 8. What nationality is Formula 1 driver Carlos Sainz? Excuse me. Question 9.
Clergyman and mathematician William Oughtred invented what kind of rule in 1632?
So that's question 9. Clergyman and mathematician William, I'll say Oughtred, invented what kind of rule in 1632? Just because of one of the Viking series that I watched, there was an Oughtred in that, so that kind of made me think of it.
I'm sure he's just glad that, well, he won't know. I'm sure he would be glad to think that he was just been remembered.
Question 10. What's the connection? We'll move on to the answers for rounds 1 and 2 now. So, round 1, what happened on this day, April 30th? Question 1.
The actor who plays Jamie Fraser in Outlander was born on this day in 1980. What's his name?
And his name is Sam Hewn. Question 2.
Who committed suicide on this day in 1945?
And he made doubly sure of it. Adolf Hitler poisoned and shot himself. So they say.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Question 3.
The Eurovision Song Contest was won on this day in 1988 by which Canadian singer?
It was won by Celine Dion for Switzerland. Question 4.
Which US president was inaugurated on this day in 1789?
And that would be George Washington. Question 5.
Which Dickens book, published as a weekly serial on this day 1859, begins with the line, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times"?
And that is A Tale of Two Cities. Question 6.
Known for his whistle, which train engineer became legendary after his death in a train collision in Mississippi on this day 1900?
And that would be Casey Jones. And I wonder who out there that got the answer are singing the
I
song.
know, well, I've been singing it since I asked the question.
Question 7.
On this day in 1989, Tim Berners-Lee launched,
He launched the internet.
we'll take World Wide Web
Yeah,
or
okay, well,
internet.
Essentially, it was the World Wide Web that he launched, but we'll accept internet. There we go. Question 8.
Who set a world record on this day 2008 by holding his breath underwater for 17 minutes and 4.4 seconds?
And that was David Blaine. Question 9.
Who on this day in 2018 was made UK Home Secretary by Theresa May?
And that is Saeed Javid. Hi Jennifer, thanks for joining us.
Hi Jennifer.
Question 10.
The world's oldest known spider was killed by a wasp sting on this day in 2018, and it was 43 years old.
I just stumbled across this story and I thought, it's that bizarre, I've got to have it in. I mean, imagine a 43-year-old spider finally getting killed by a wasp.
I know, but for all we know, there could be spiders that have lived through.
Well, but it does say known spider, the world's oldest known. On to round 2. Answers. So question 1.
Marcona, cola and pili are types of nut.
Yep. Question 2.
What word can come before master and strong and after hammer?
And that is head. Take a wee bit longer just in case. Okay. Question 3.
What term is given to the heart, liver and lungs of an animal used for human food?
And that is pluck. Question 4.
According to their hit song, where were the Red Hot Chili Peppers under?
They were under the bridge. Question 5.
What do you call the white target ball used in bowling?
Jack, or the jack. Question 6.
What item can be found on a horse, bicycle and motorbike?
And that is saddle. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a picture of a horse sitting on a bike, sitting on a motorbike. This was as good as I could get. Question 7.
Male voices are divided into 4 groups: countertenor, tenor, baritone and
bass. That's one I was missing. Question 8.
what nationality is Formula 1 driver Carlos Sainz?
And he is Spanish. And question 9.
Clergyman and mathematician William Oughtred invented what kind of rule in 1632?
He invented the slide rule. Finally, question 10.
What's the connection?
And the connection is guitars, because you have the head of a guitar, or the headstock as it's also known as. You have the nut in the guitar, which is you see the wee white bit just at the head. That's known as the nut. You pluck strings. You have an input jack in an electric guitar or an electric acoustic. The saddle is where the bottom end of the strings are. The bridge. Jack, and you can play bass guitar, you can play slide guitar. So the connection was guitars. So we'll do a what's the scores. See how everyone's getting on.
Yes,
I think you can explain that
yes,
one, Bill.
we did spend quite a bit of time on making sure this was correct. So, awful is would include all of these things, but specifically these 3 organs, and it must include the liver, is known as pluck. And they come from, that comes from a specific part inside the animal. But the thing is that if you got the connection, you would know it wasn't awful.
Correct. Stephen 8. Our mum's wrong. Diddly do. Who have we still to get? Janet, Marvin's, Jean. Oh, the Marvin's there, 12. Sorry.
One of the distinctions was awful is when you hang up the carcass of the animal, the offal falls out. But these bits have to be plucked. They have to be cut out. Hi, Linda and John. Well, you can all go and spend as much time as I did checking that question and the answer. But anyway, the answer's pluck, because it's the only thing that fits with the connection. Stephen, did you get the connection? Right, I've got some scores for you.
Uh-huh.
We've got Linda and John with us.
Oh, good evening, Linda and John. Thanks for joining.
So they're on 11.
Uh-huh.
They're also querying that answer. That means there's numerous.
Well, I think but once you call if you figured out what the connection is, that that would make it quite obvious that it couldn't be awful unless one of the questions is what's Tam's guitar playing like.
Well, George has sort of mentioned that because he said that some guitar playing is awful.
I did see that, yeah. Thanks for no naming me, George. Right, is Rosalind left? Yeah, I think Rosalind's left.
Is she?
Oh, well, I don't see her score there.
No, I know, but we've not got a lot of scores up. Annie's team's on 12.
Yes.
Mariana 13. Stephen 8.
Uh-huh.
Oh, there's my mum's team 15.
Uh-huh.
14 for the Pettit McFarlanes and
What did you say, Mariana's
9
at 13?
and 8. 17 for the Boylans.
Uh-huh, I've got that. Janet's?
Janet.
And Jean?
6 for Janet.
Jean?
And Jean 10.
10. So, in the lead at the moment, it's Francis and Thomas on 17. Hot on the heels is Lorna's team. 1 point behind that is the Pettit McFarlanes. And 1 point behind that is Mariana.
And there's Rosalind.
And there's Rosalind there with 11. Very good, Rosalind. Well done. So we'll crack on into round two. He's all catch up. Round 3. Which, as always, before we do, my did you know is, and
It's good that Nyoko's here.
Nyoko will be able to tell me if my pronunciation is okay. So, did you know about Kuche Sabiche? So, Kuche Sabiche, or lonely mouth, is a far nicer sounding expression than its rough English equivalent, eaten out of boredom. However, that is essentially what it translates to. The sense of wanting to snack on something when you're not particularly feeling hungry. So, there you go. See me say, when you're thinking, oh, I think I'll go and have a packet of crisps, just say, oh no, that's Kuche Sabiche. And don't bother. You're just bored. We'll now move on to the picture round. Who's that? This is all people who, but maybe when they're a bit younger. I think they're all like that again. So, who is this?
Thanks, Thomas. Oh, you say the nicest things.
What's he saying?
I think you're awful nice, but your question is rubbish.
Yeah. Well, feel free to send us in guest rounds. We'll quite happily do them. Yeah. Thank you very much, Nyoko. Picture 2. Who is that? Well, I even got a cup too. Look at that. Picture 3, bit of an easy one, I think.
So there we are, in that one it says there's another word for it, so therefore.
Picture 4, who is that? having some chocolate for a change. Not from a secret admirer with a hearing problem.
It's not a hearing
Was
problem.
it?
It's a bad ear.
Oh, a bad ear, sorry.
It's a much more romantic description.
Picture 5. Boom, caught straight away. Nice, Nyoko. Just having them because they're there, you're so right. The one time I do, it's not better, but I think it was the first time I've actually eaten anything when we've been doing this. Picture 7, who's this? So is it actually 2 words, Nyoko? Because when we were looking into this, I was coming across it where it'd be written as 1 word, but another also as 2, but I came across it as 2 words more than 1 word, which is why I went for the 2 words. Picture 8, who's this? Picture 9. Thank you. It's nice when we get things pointed out when we do them right, not just when we do them wrong. And last picture, who is that? Moving on to round 4 now, which is the chain. So as always, the last letter of the first answer is the first letter of the second answer, and so on. Question 1.
What is the rarest of the main human blood types?
That's question 1. What is the rarest of the main human blood types? Question 2.
The first day of spring in the northern hemisphere is also known as the spring what?
So So it's question 2. The first day of spring in the northern hemisphere is also known as the spring what? Question 3. Oh, there. Question 3.
What colourless noble gas has the atomic number 54?
So it's question 3. What colourless noble gas has the atomic number 54? Question 4.
What is the capital city of Cyprus?
So it's question 4. What is the capital city of Cyprus? Question 5.
South Korea has been dominant in which Olympic sport with 26 out of 39 gold medals since 1984?
So that's question 5. South Korea has been dominant in which Olympic sport, that should say, with 26 out of 39 gold medals since 1984. So it's one sport, not sports. Question 6.
Who had a hit in 1988 with The Only Way Is Up?
So that's question 6. Who had a hit in 1988 with The Only Way Is Up? Question 7.
What word for a light wind gets its name from the Greek god of the west wind?
Question 7. What word for a light wind gets its name from the Greek god of the west wind?
Speak for yourself.
Question 8.
What line comes before 3 men in a tub?
So question 8. What line comes before 3 men in a tub? Question 9.
Which Pacific atoll was the site of nuclear tests between 1946 and 1958?
So that's question 9. Which Pacific atoll was the site of nuclear tests between 1946 and 1958? You start doing that they see all the footballers and all that doing now. Just like that, whatever, I don't want to be able to say. Last question of this round, question 10.
Springfield is the capital of which US state?
So question 10, Springfield is the capital of which US state? So move on to the answers, round 3 and 4. So answers for the picture round. Picture 1,
And that's Brian May.
picture 2.
This is Cher.
Who was it you thought it was? You thought it was
I thought
Toya.
it was maybe Toya,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, once you know it's Cher, you can't see it. Absolutely terrible. I mean,
You get your hair done like that for the wedding though. Picture 3 is
Bananarama.
picture 4,
And this is David Bowie.
picture 5,
It's Carol Vorderman.
picture 6.
Robert De Niro.
I like how you need to wait till
I know, because they're just all meaningless to me, all these actors.
Picture 7,
I know that this is Doris Day.
picture 8,
Robin Williams. I know him.
I would understand if people went for Sylvester Stallone, because it looks very like the outfit that Stallone wore in the first Rocky. Picture 9,
This is Indira Gandhi.
Indira Gandhi. And finally, picture 10,
As whoever he may be, Tim Curry.
and that's him getting made up for playing the clown and It, the Stephen King book It. He played the clown in the movie. Answers for round 4, the chain. Question 1,
What is the rarest of the main human blood types?
and that is AB negative. So the first letter of your next answer should begin. It should be E. Question 2,
The first day of spring in the northern hemisphere is also known as the spring what?
that is equinox. So your next word begins with X. Question 3,
What colourless noble gas has the atomic number 54?
that is xenon. Next question answer is N.
What's the capital city of Cyprus?
That's Nicosia. So next one begins with A.
South Korea has been dominant in which Olympic sport with 26 out of 39 gold medals since 1984?
And that is archery. Excuse me. So Y,
Who had a hit in 1988 with The Only Way Is Up?
and that is Yaz. Question 7, next one begins with Z,
What word for a light wind gets its name from the Greek god of the west wind?
and that is Zephyr. Next one begins with R. Question 8,
What line comes before three men in a tub?
and that is Rub-a-dub-dub. So next one begins with B. Question 9,
Which Pacific atoll was the site of nuclear tests between 1946 and 1958?
and that is Bikini. Next one begins with I. So question 10,
Springfield is the capital of Illinois.
indeed it is. And there you go. Oh, we'll catch up with everyone, see how the scores are going.
be frozen.
Totally.
Oh my, that's bad. So what can we do?
No idea. No.
Oh, here we go. Right, June 22 total.
Oh, Stevie did well on that one. Stephen, that's up to 20. Rosalind got another 11, so that's 22, I think. The Mabons 29. Your mum's team 30. So 33 for Francis and Thomas. Annie's team 24. Linda and John.
It's just coming. Janet is now, her total is 14.
Uh-huh. So, can someone tell me in the chat, are you seeing us okay? Because our the third party program that I use to do this, and our feedback, we're frozen.
Like just now, it's just a frozen image.
Yeah, it's been frozen for ages. So I'm assuming with all the scores still coming through, that you're still seeing us okay. But I would expect you to see.
Yeah, yes, it's. Yeah, but they can hear us, so.
Right. Well, that's fine.
Thanks.
Right, okay, thanks for that. Well, we'll always say that you've all just allowed it to continue, so we'll just keep going. But then,
Yeah, but it's just us, isn't it? It's just the screen with us in it that's freezing.
so are you still seeing the questions? When we have the questions up, are you seeing them okay?
Right, Linda and John.
Thanks, Harry.
Yes, thanks very much.
Right, right. I'm going to do the slides to see how that is.
Right, can I give you Linda and John's score?
Yes.
They're at 24 altogether, and
I haven't seen Mariana. Yes, right. We're fine because that's changed. See
right.
it. So what's the score is up now? Yes.
Linda and John are going to pass on second round because we're doing a marvellous job. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Linda and John. We do try. Yep. Yeah, I can see. I've been able to see my own screen that the slides working as well. So it means that you don't get to. Well, you do, I suppose. But anyway, so we didn't get Mariana's score.
I think it's. Total now 28.
Yes, sorry, I see it now. And who else have
we got? Nyoko and Leslie, 29.
Yes, but I don't see.
29 also for Pettit McFarlane's.
Right.
And 30 for my mum and her team.
Yep.
And the Boylans, what are the Boylans on now?
The Boylans are on 33. So we have it, as by my reckoning, we have in the lead the Boylans on 33. Hot on their heels are Lorna's team on 30, and then we have hot on their heels with 29 respectively, the Mabans and the Pettit McFarlanes. Then Mariana on 28, and everyone else on scores above 20. So all to play for in the last round. So we'll crack on. Sorry for the technical issues that we've been having, but unfortunately it happens. So as always, our final round, general knowledge. So good luck everyone. I have moved it. I'm just waiting to see if it changes before I... Yes. So question 1.
Liberia and Myanmar are 2 of 3 countries in the world not to use the metric system. Name the third.
So that's Liberia and Myanmar are 2 of the three countries in the world not to use the metric system. Name the third. Question 2.
Pusillanimous means A. timid, B. brave, or C. pompous.
So that's question 2. Pusillanimous means A. timid, B. brave, or C. pompous. Question 3.
What does the Scoville scale measure?
That's question 3. What does the Scoville scale measure? Question 4.
Which horse won this year's Grand National?
So that's question 4. Which horse won this year's Grand National?
Just enough time's elapsed for that to be a really, really annoying question.
Absolutely. Question 5.
Which product was the first to have a barcode?
So that's question 5. Which product was the first to have a barcode? Question 6.
Who directed The Shining and 2001: A Space Odyssey?
That's question 6. Who directed The Shining and 2001: A Space Odyssey? Question 7.
Who said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent"? Was it A. Eleanor Roosevelt, B. Nancy Reagan, or C. Michelle Obama?
So question 7. Who said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent"? A. Eleanor Roosevelt, B. Nancy Reagan, or C. Michelle Obama? Question 8.
Who was the lead singer of Genesis before Phil Collins?
So that's question 8. Who was the lead singer of Genesis before Phil Collins? Question 9. Who wrote the classic novel Wuthering Heights? It's a pity seeing that in your hand again. Question 10.
Final one for tonight. Where in the world will you find a ski-through McDonald's?
So that's, oh,
Is it A, Switzerland, B, Sweden, or C, USA?
So that's question 10. Where in the world will you find a ski-through McDonald's? A, Switzerland, B, Sweden, or C, USA? I'll move on to the answers. So, question 1.
Liberia and Myanmar are 2 of 3 countries in the world not to use the metric system, and the third is the
USA.
United States.
Question 2.
Pusillanimous means
It means timid. Question 3.
what does the Scoville scale measure?
It measures hotness of peppers. Question 4.
Which horse won this year's Grand National?
You remember?
Yes,
Right, what was it?
Coracle Rambler.
There we are, Coric Rambler. Excuse me. Question 5.
Which product was the first to have a barcode?
And that was gum and Wrigley's Juicy Fruit to be more precise.
Yes, but we'll take
We'll
chewing
just take
gum or
chewing
gum.
gum, yeah. Question 6.
Who directed The Shining and 2001: A Space Odyssey?
And that would be Stanley Kubrick. Here's Johnny. Question 7.
Who said no one can make you feel inferior without your consent?
And
The
that
answer
was
Eleanor Roosevelt.
question 8.
Who was the lead singer of Genesis before Phil Collins?
And that was Peter Gabriel. Question 9.
Who wrote the classic novel Wuthering Heights?
And that was Emily Bronte. And final question of the night, apart from our tie break.
Where in the world will you find a ski-through McDonald's? And it's actually in Sweden.
As I used to say in the Steve Wright show in the afternoon, another true story. So there we go. So we'll see how the scores are doing. I don't know that it's worth our while going on to the screen right enough. The host scene, is that still frozen? Yeah, that's
It's
still frozen.
Yeah.
So I think we'll just go with, we'll go with the desktop capture. What's the score? Alright, so let's see your scores, everyone.
Yeah, I believe in. Oh, thanks. Even that.
Right, Stephen, pretty good, big fella. Oh, Petit McFarlane's have crashed and burned.
Oh, look at the Boylans.
Mariana on 36. Wow.
See all this sneaking about, Thomas, sending chocolate to someone that you admire. It's obviously doing you a power of good.
It's starting to pay off, yeah. 37 from Mum's team. Mavon's 36. Very good. Anything from Jean, Annie's team, 29, very good. London John
are on a total of 29. They're not very good on the kind of popular, the photo, the picture round and pop music.
Rosalind.
It's not a strong point, but they've got numerous other areas of extreme strength, as I know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We've all got our things that we're strong at, and maybe that's well. No.
I would be no good at the picture round. Absolutely useless.
Have you heard from Jean yet?
Janet is on an overall score of 18, at which she's laughing. She's laughing at herself.
Very good, Janet. Well done.
And Jean managed to score 0 in the last round. That's quite an achievement, Jean. I don't know that.
Absolutely, Jean. I think that's the one and only time I've ever had that. So.
So Jean's still on 22.
we might actually. We'll see if at the end of it, the end of the year, if no one else manages to score that, then we'll maybe give you a prize just for that alone. So, our winners this week are, I'm sure you've already guessed, Francis and Thomas, the Boylans. So yeah, a nice wee double for you today. In second place, it's Lorna's mum's team, Lorna and team on 37. On equal third is the Marins and the Mabons and Mariana, 36. Then we have the Petit McFarlanes on 34. Annie's team 29. Lyndon John 29. Rosalind 22. Jean 22. Stephen 24. And Janet 18. So good scoring, everyone. Well done, the Boylans.
Yeah. You're on a roll today.
Aye. Look at you, Thomas. Like your team won in the day, won in the quiz tonight, and you've got Francis.
No.
Right, so for our tie-break question, as mentioned earlier, Celine Dion won Eurovision for Switzerland in 1988. But how many points did she score?
Well, I think, as Tam said there, Thomas is on a treble.
Thomas got a trip, yeah.
Because he's married to you, Francis.
Right, the Petit McFarlane say 144. Got away that thing.
God, this is just for fun. We don't.
Yes.
We don't need it.
My bond's 140.
278 from Jean.
Mariana 151. 278 from Jean. Stevie, she won the thing. nine plot. Yeah. Sorry. I think it's safe to say, Steve, but that's not the answer.
Right.
Right.
216.
216.
Linda, 200 for Linda and John.
200 Linda and John. Has Annie?
And I gave you Jean's 278.
Yes, so we're waiting on Rosa and Annie. And I don't. Annie says 485. And so Rosalind. Right, so diddly do. We have an actual winner, I do believe, of the tie break, and that is the Mabons, because it's 137 as you see there, and the Mabons went for 140, so they were only 3 points out. So well done.
Maybe they were there.
Yeah,
No, they're too young.
Absolutely. So well done. So that's it. We have the Boylans are our quiz
well
winners, and the Mabons are our tie-break winners. So well done to both of you. Sorry about the technical difficulties tonight, everyone, but you just all rolled with it. Well done on you all. No panic anywhere. And we'll see you all in is it a 5-week month next month as well?
I think it must just be 4.
Right, so we'll see you all on
It was the last Sunday.
the last Sunday of next month. In the meantime, take care everyone, and we'll see you all again soon.
Yes, thanks very much.
So thank you all. Good night. Well done, Leslie.
Yeah.
Thanks Annie. Thanks Katrina.
Night.
Night everyone.
So the